Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the number to reach us, 800-848-9222 this hour. The foreign minister of Iran says Iran is fully prepared for war if outsiders interfere with the deadly protest. Thus far, 500 people killed. Well, I can only tell you that President Trump is not the one to bluff with, and Iran, you should know that by now. Dominic Carter here with you folks, and I'm starting with the politics of Hollywood and how destructive those far left politics are to this country, to the American people. The Golden Globes Awards. Mark Ruffalo plays the Incredible Hulk in the movies. This guy is worth up to $50 million. Lately, he's pulling down $10, $20 million a movie. He shows up to the Golden Globes and he can't shut up with his Trump hatred. Can you imagine this? You're walking up to an award show and reporters want to interview you, and you want to talk about President Trump. You talk about Trump derangement syndrome. So he's wearing a pin in honor of the woman shot by the ICE agent. This is what Mark Ruffalo had to say, the actor, the well-paid actor that frankly needs to shut up.
Mark, what's the pin?
For Renee Nicole Good, who was murdered. We have a vice president who's lying about what's happening. We have we're in the middle of a war with Venezuela that we illegally invaded. He's telling the world that international law doesn't matter to him. The only thing that matters to him is his own morality. But the guy is a convicted felon or convicted rapist. He's a pedophile. He's the worst human being. If we're relying on this guy's morality for the most powerful country in the world, then we're all in a lot of trouble. So this is for her. This is for the people in the United States who are terrorized and scared today. I know I'm one of them. I love this country, and what I'm seeing here happening is not America. It's just not.
Mark, why do you feel that this platform is still useful to spread a message like this?
Listen, I want to pretend like this is, I want to be here to celebrate, and I am here to celebrate, and I'm proud to have a Golden Globe nomination. But also, this is not normal anymore. And so I don't know how I could be quiet, and I'm feeling a little sick, so it's hard to BS right now.
So Mark Ruffalo at the Golden Globe Awards, I just don't understand. It's almost like the NBA player. You're making $30-40 million for the year, plus endorsements, and you want to enter the arena of politics. Shut up and dribble the basketball. Mark Ruffalo, shut up and go to the Golden Globe. There's no awards. There is no need to do what you're doing. And you should be careful. You should learn a lesson from ABC. They were sued for saying Trump was convicted of rape. The man is not convicted of rape. I believe the exact charge, the conviction was for sexual assault, and that too will be overturned. It's on appeal. So you folks, you may live and you may be listening to us right now in Nashville, Tennessee, or wherever you're from around the country. This may be something that's normal in your city, in your location. But here in New York, it's a big deal. And that is to have public restrooms. It's a big deal because many places you go to privately in the city, they don't want the public coming inside unless you're patronizing the establishment. And in many establishments, they don't have restrooms, public restrooms. So it's a big deal for the city of New York. Why is it a big deal? Because you can't keep the homeless out one way or the other. You can't keep the homeless out one way or the other. We see your phone calls coming in, 800-848-9222. So some ideas have been after each use, it would sweep water on the floor so that no one could be laying in there, in terms of these portable, toilets, all types of things that have come up. So the city's New York's new socialist mayor, Mamdani, is announcing a $4 million commitment to bring these modular toilets to the city.
In the greatest city in the world, you should not have to spend $9 to buy a coffee just to be able to find a little relief.
New York City is launching a new program to expand public bathroom access across the city. Mayor Zohran Mamdani today announced what he says is a $4 million commitment to bring modular, high-quality bathrooms to the 5 boroughs.
Right now, there are nearly 1,000 public restrooms in New York City. That is one public bathroom for 8,500 residents. Why aren't there more restrooms in our city? Well, there's a lot of infrastructure underneath our feet. And instead, toilets mean finding places to go. Installing them means finding sewer lines and water hookups. This pilot, however, will allow us to install public bathrooms even where we cannot drill into the bowels of the city.
And, of course, it was a bad first week for the new socialist mayor. He's learning the hard way, the way politics work. The man was too young for the job, 34 years old, but he won. He won because of a split opposition vote, and thus he is the mayor. So his counterpart in London, a mayor by the name, this guy's name is Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London. And anything that this guy endorses from London should scare the pants off of you here in America. Big socialist in London, driving London into the ground. This guy, in an interview in England, when it was asked about how should Mamdani deal with President Trump, and any advice that this guy gives, you should do the exact opposite.
I wanted to ask, have you spoken on the phone to your counterpart in New York since he took office, Zohran Mamdani?
Well, we message regularly and stuff, and it brings a smile to my face talking about Zohran. He's going to do a great job, I think, in the second greatest city in the world, and trying to make the progress we've made in London.
Do you have tips for him? You faced a lot of criticism from Donald Trump. Do you have tips for him for how to deal with that? I guess it's more important for him to deal with that criticism just to work with him.
No, he doesn't need advice from me. He's going to be a great mayor, I'm sure. I've got on really well with all the mayors of New York. It's our nearest competitor, and a friend and colleague as a city. What I would say to anybody is, look, whether you're 9 years old, whether you're 14 years old, or whether you're older, don't let bullies win.
You heard the man say, don't let bullies win. I agree. This president is a great president that will go down in history as perhaps the greatest president ever. Whatever advice you get from the mayor of London, from this guy, do the exact opposite. So let's get to Minneapolis. Oh, the ICE agent shot down an innocent woman. I don't mean to speak ill of the dead. That's not my intention. But if there's anybody to blame for this, it is the wife that said, drive, baby, drive. It is the woman that's now deceased that went the vehicle in reverse, that defied the order of the first ICE agent that said, get out of the car. And he went to open the door. She goes in reverse. Then it looks like she's going forward. And that ICE agent has a split second to make a decision. Do you use deadly force? Do you hope she's not going to hit you? But what happens if she's panicking and she hits you with that 2,000-pound vehicle, a deadly machine? If you think the job of ICE agents across the country is easy, I want you to listen to this. This is a target in St. Paul, Minnesota. Just 24 hours ago, the way that ICE officers are being treated.
You're a bitch. Lift your wife out. You guys are all bitches. You can't do a thing in here. Get the out of here. Get the out. Nobody wants you here. Right. Get the out. Walk out, you stupid bitches. Get the out of here. You dumb. You coward. You're a coward, bitch. You're a bitch. Hold on, baby. I'm on the phone. Get the out of here. Get the out of here, you stupid bitches. You're a coward piece of and if you didn't have a gun or a badge, I would beat the take that badge off. You want to have to you shut up. Stop, man. Fucking tongue. You're a bitch.
And that's what the left is teaching Americans, whether they realize it or not, for how to react, to respond to ICE agents. It is despicable. Let's begin with your telephone calls. Let's start with David, line 1, Westchester. David, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. Pleasure to speak to you. Regarding this ICE situation, I got to tell you, buddy, I've heard enough. I am so disgusted with what's going on in this country in regards to our federal law enforcement. I'm fighting mad, even though, I'm too old to fight, but I am fighting mad, buddy. And my idea is this, and maybe I'm living in Pollyanna land, but you could tell me, why can't President Trump or one of these congressmen get an act of Congress to give the National Guard badges? Am I living in La La Land? We own both houses. Barely own the house. And I don't think there's enough votes there to get something like that accomplished. So when you say give them badges for what purpose? Well, from my limited knowledge, Congress has the power to give them the power of law enforcement in restricted circumstances. So give them that, vote to give them that, to override the statute that limits federal troops from law enforcement. Congress has the power to do that, from what I can surmise. Right, but that's not the problem. We don't have enough ICE agents. The problem is that local law enforcement, on orders of these phony politicians, are refusing to back them up. Normally, the ICE agents would just focus on the illegals, with the locals dealing with arresting protesters if they've crossed the line and did something wrong. I don't see, David, it's a great idea, but I just do not see it. I do not see it happening. Thank you very much. Let's go to Marco, line 2, New Jersey. Marco, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask. By now, you already heard what Noam and Vance and Trump said about, she's a terrorist. She was out to run him over. Do you think that she was on a mission to run over ICE agents, or you think she was just trying to flee from the agents? That's all I wanted to ask. That's not the issue. The issue is, what did that officer feel that was standing in front of the vehicle? Clearly, she was trying to get away, but in order to do so, the vehicle had to go forward. The question is, what did that officer feel? Time for a break. We are coming right back.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative. On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And to your telephone calls, John, line 1, Reno, Nevada. John, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, I think we need to charge Renee Good's wife with her murder.
Well, I don't know about charging her with murder, but she should be charged with obstruction of justice or whatever other charge the feds can come up with. But I think politically, that won't happen because it would be a bad PR move. But she's the one that's responsible for her wife's death. John, you have the final word before I move on.
Yeah, she exhorted her wife to flee the arrest. And in the commission of that crime, she ended up dying. I think she should be charged.
Charged with something, certainly, John. Thank you. Let's go to Matt, line 5, Long Island. Matt, what's on your mind?
Good afternoon, Dominic. I appreciate you taking my call because I see that you moved on from the Golden Globes and Mark Ruffalo specifically, but I'm so tired of the hypocrisy out of Hollywood. That's why I checked out years ago. I do not worship Hollywood. I do not worship actors.
Sounds like you're a smart man to me. Maybe I need to follow your lead, Matt.
Well, listen, Dominic, I listen to you, so I really appreciate every afternoon as I drive home from New York City.
Well, fantastic. Matt, why do you think Mark Ruffalo, I mean, this guy's pulling down 10 million, 20 million a movie. Why is he doing these outrageous antics attacking President Trump and focusing on something that he doesn't know a darn thing about, the shooting in Minneapolis, talking about she was murdered?
Listen, I would just assume that these Hollywood actors or actresses would just have so much gratitude that there are people out there that want to be entertained, and especially by people that get paid millions of dollars to pretend to be police officers on screen, with movies that include violent police interactions with police cases where they try to catch a low-level crook that flees, and they're doing these cars are flipping over, costing the city tens of thousands of dollars just to catch a crook. And then on top of that, if you're searching for a movie, the title picture has an actor holding a gun. And I know they're saying about gun control or anything like that, but I mean, you want to tell me what's right and wrong? And I don't know. Just be grateful that we have this venue where you can just pretend to do things and get paid millions of dollars for it. Don't tell me how to live anymore.
Absolutely, Matt. Thank you for the wonderful call. Against my better judgment, line 2, Russ in White Plains, New York. Russ, what's on your mind?
Dominic, I always appreciate your nuanced opinions, and it's not whether Dominic or Russ believes that Miss Good was fleeing an unauthorized traffic stop, but was it reasonable for the paramilitary federal agent, who's not authorized to make traffic stops, was it reasonable for him to believe that Miss I'm not mad at you dude was fleeing? And you got to admit, Dominic, if his own phone hangs him, that'll be poetic justice, won't it?
Dominic is done with you.
So before I even say a word, Russ, it's despicable what you just said, right? It really is. Thank you for the call. Carlos, I'm the dumb that took the call, right? So, I mean, what planet are you living on? You see the video. You see what the officer is brushed up against. How is he supposed... Okay, so there's a reason why he stood in front of the vehicle. That's so that... I'm sure it's a maneuver. That's so they can pin the vehicle in, because nobody in their right mind is going to drive a vehicle towards a federal law enforcement officer unless their spouse is urging them to commit basically suicide. And that's exactly what happened, Miss Drive, Baby Drive. It is horrible. What plan? Oh, she was trying to get away. You tell that to that agent's wife that had to look at that video. How is he supposed to know she's about to veer right and try and get away? It's ridiculous. The entire argument is ridiculous. The wife should be charged.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative. On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Looking at my Twitter, at my X, at Dominic TV, and the lovely Debbie Lobato, referring to a call that I had last night, referring to the incident in Minneapolis. Debbie says the woman, Renee Good, was told to step out of the car. Exclamation point. She has 5 of them. The car was not moving. Correct, Debbie. The officer stood in front of the car to block her from moving. She accelerated. End of story. And another great point that Debbie makes here, and I forgot about this part, with these public bathrooms and the mayor putting $4 million additional taxpayer dollars in to get them done. I mentioned the homeless. What about the drug users? Debbie says get ready for the IV drug users to use the public bathrooms, not to mention possible overdoses. And indeed, Debbie, that is true. So you go to take care of nature, and you may have to avoid needles that are on the floor. Going back to your telephone calls, let's see here. Let's go to Pamela in New Jersey, line 1. Pamela, what's on your mind?
Good afternoon. When I was growing up, my siblings and I would get one warning when we stepped over the line of being smart mouth. And that was, you want a bar of soap in your mouth. And that meant, uh-oh. And apparently these people who are saying these disgusting, filthy things to ICE didn't get the proper parenting and were never told, no, you have gone too far.
Well,
maybe
Pamela,
we should start bringing back the bar of soap.
Not a bad idea. Pamela, stay with me for a second. Pamela mentioned this, so I want you to listen to some of these liberals that are out there protesting against ICE.
Oh, man, look at these f***ing traitors. What the f*** is wrong with you? How do you f***ing sleep at night, you piece of How can you, as a black man, turn on the people like this? What the f*** is wrong with you? What the f*** is wrong with every one of you f***ing pieces of destroying this f***ing nation? Shame on you, you f***ing traitor! Shame on you! You're f***ing laughing, you fat piece of you f***ing nonsense!
Pamela, can you believe this is happening in America?
This is absolutely disgusting, and we are tired of hearing it. We are tired of it. We are sick and tired of it. It's beyond. Maybe they should bring back some water and soap and just pour it over them or something, and wash their filthy mouths out. They are disgusting. They are a disgrace, and they have to be paid. They have to go after their personal finances. Go after with a forensic accountant and go over all their finances, one by one. Go to all of them. Use the ICE agents even to use them, since the ICE agents are being prevented from doing their work. One by one, go through all their paperwork and find out where is the money coming from. Is it coming from Westchester, from a certain person?
Pamela, thank you for the great call. Pamela in New Jersey. So you talk about bob and weaving. The mayor of Minneapolis, Mayor Jacob Frey, does the Sunday morning shows, I believe the Sunday morning shows. And I want you to listen to this, folks. And this is the mayor, right? Because now we're getting back to what the real focus is. The left wants you to keep focusing on Renee Good, right? And it deserves attention, but the blame should go where it belongs, on Miss Good, unfortunately now deceased, and her wife. Professional agitators out there all day long. I mean, I don't know, folks. I never thought I would see the day where people are out there paid to harass law enforcement all day long. But the mayor of the city, who's bending over backwards to kiss the you know what of the Somali community, and we're finally getting back to the real issue. He's admitting that rampant fraud exists in Minnesota, and of course we know that Frey and Governor Governor Tim Walz did not do enough, perhaps did not do anything to stop the corruption.
Let me ask you about the leadership in your state. Dozens of people in Minnesota have been charged and convicted with stealing millions of dollars of taxpayer money for government programs. Do you think Governor Walz did enough to stop the fraud in your state? And do you support his decision not to run for re-election?
Well, look, Governor Walz is the reason that we've got paid family leave in Minnesota. He's the reason we've got free school lunches. Him and I, we've been through thick and thin.
But did he do enough to combat fraud, Mayor? Did he do enough to combat fraud?
Look, obviously everybody could have done more to prevent fraud, and I think that's a fair point to make. Do more to prevent fraud, and you look what he's doing right now. He's setting up a whole bunch of infrastructure to do that. And by the way, look, the fraud's real. We've all got to acknowledge it. The fraud is very real. And by the way, when somebody commits fraud, and there are many that have done that, you investigate it, you charge, you prosecute, and you put the person in jail. As an individual, you put the person in jail as an individual. You do not hold an entire community, any community, accountable for the actions of individuals.
Correct, Mr. Mayor, who uses the F-bomb to make his point. Correct. But here's the answer. How about the entire Somali community leave? How about that? Oh, you can't say that. You can't say that. Line 1, Judith in Brooklyn. What's on your mind, Judith?
Hi. Hi, Dominic.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. Go right ahead, please.
All right. I'm sorry. Okay, you know what? What comes to mind is this. In law school, they teach you 3 things. Deny, deny, deny. In real estate, they teach you 3 things. Location, location, location. I'm listening to this back and forth and back and forth. It is simply distract, distract, distract from the fraud and the criminals that ICE is there in the first place to protect the civilians from the crimes and the fraud and everything. That's what they're there for. And as far as Russell goes, hey, Russ, listen, this ICE agent said, wow. In other words, he did not expect that stupid fool to press on the gas and basically look like she's going to run him over. That is crucial, okay? As far as that other guy, that actor, whatever his name is, that idiot also, hey, shut up and just read your script. Do me a favor, okay? Enough with the nonsense. All these Hollywood people, they think they're so brilliant and bright.
Right. I'm with you, Judith. I agree with everything you just said. Thank you for the wonderful call. Let's go to Anthony, line 3, Long Island. Anthony, what's on your mind?
Bravo to Pamela, your previous caller. She was spot on. Nothing puts fear in you than that bar of soap. I tell you, it is upbringing. That's the problem here. All these people, they got a whole shopping cart full of rights and nowhere to go with them. And if they were paying the foot in the bill for all this fraud that's going on down there, then maybe they'd be singing a different tune. But I'd like to say that when I was a younger man driving a tractor trailer, I pulled into a weigh station for Department of Transportation inspection. And one of the drivers in another truck had gotten impatient. He didn't want to wait around. And the inspector was underneath the truck, and he started the engine and put it in gear. And the DOT inspector put a bullet right through the cabin of that truck. So this is nothing new. And I don't know what these people are thinking. My parents taught me as a young man, you don't get in the face in somebody who's armed and wearing a bulletproof vest. And
are you there?
But if you play with fire, you're going to get burned.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And to the great men and women in law enforcement of this country. And to your point, Anthony, you can listen to all this delusional stuff from the left if you want to. When you're in a situation, that's you, me, anybody, the law enforcement officer is in control of the situation. There is a reason for that. 1, their safety. 2, if they do something wrong, there are a million investigators to investigate the activity that happened. But there's a reason why they're in control of a situation. And to these folks, and I'm sorry, to Renee Good and to her, and you know what, Anthony, I've tried my best to stay away from commenting on this, but here's the truth. Okay, I'm not known to pull punches. Here's the truth. Look at the lives of these two involved, right? So, okay, people go through marriages sometimes. She was married twice, right? The victim. They moved up to Canada. Gay relationship. Just look at it explains a lot for why they're out there not working. Perhaps they were working, but why they're out there protesting, making the lives of these federal law enforcement agents a million times more difficult. And how much do you think anybody could take? And at the end of the day, this agent did absolutely nothing wrong. He should not be out of work for a single day. He did nothing wrong. Anthony, thank you for the great call. Let's go to James, line 2, Whitestone. James, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, Happy New Year. Good to talk to you again. It's James from the Whitestone Republican Club. Just wanted to call and say hi, make a comment about Mayor Mondani's proposed public bathrooms. As a guy that works on the road all day, every day, you got to give credit where credit's due, and I think it's a great idea. I think an idea for, kind of regulating these public bathrooms would maybe be to download some kind of an app with an access code, kind of deters those bathrooms from just being open all day, all night for anybody to use. And that's just my thought on that.
So James, so wait. So you said a code for the phone. That's a great idea. So what happens when a woman is coming out? You think she's going to say to a homeless individual, no, you can't go in there? And if she does, she may be taking her life into her own hands.
Well, I think, if you use the code system, I'm sure these bathrooms will have some kind of outdoor, camera system, I would assume, where, if something does happen to these bathrooms, whether it be in the form of being vandalized or homeless people taking over these public restrooms, it can be tracked back to the people that let these homeless people or these criminals into the bathrooms. And then, I guess as a punishment, the person would be denied an access code for future use.
But James, that would be blaming the victim. I'm talking about an innocent woman. First of all, she's got to hope that she's not about to be raped. That's number one. Number two, how can we blame her if a homeless person intimidates her to let her come in as she's walking out?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that's a great point. I also think perhaps these public restrooms should be closed after a certain time, kind of like New York City parks. They're open from dawn till dusk. I think that would deter a lot of criminal activity, potential criminal activity as well.
Have you ever seen the bathroom in a city park? And remember the little girl, they were in the park. And a migrant tied up teens and queens tied up the boy and made him watch as he sexually assaulted the girl. All I'm saying is I hear you, James. Thank you for the wonderful call. I hear you. There's something needs to be done for people like you when nature calls. Frankly, for all of us, I'm on a water pill myself. So when nature calls, my legs start squirming and I've got to figure out a way to do something. And, the caller mentioned the Republican Club. It was great when I was there. And I'm coming, this upcoming month to, many, Republican clubs. This Saturday, as a matter of fact, my wife Marilyn and I will be in Nutley, New Jersey. I didn't know, folks, how important, I mean, you know what I'm trying to say, how prevalent the topic of special education is. So we'll be in Nutley, New Jersey this coming Saturday at noon. We're headed to a synagogue on February 8th, and there's a lot of other stuff coming up. I'll be in Albany on February 1st speaking at the state Conservative Party convention. Looking forward to all of that. Let's see here. Let's go to, and as I've said, folks, I don't like the comparison. I'm tired of talking about January 6th, okay? I'm just being honest with you. And I still don't understand the comparison. So I see one of the callers want to make the comparison. I'm not interested in doing that. What happened to Ashley Babbitt is horrible. And that officer should be in jail that killed her. No other way around it. To the people that were just there minding their business at the protest, it's horrible what happened to some of them. If you were stupid enough to go into the Capitol and invade somebody's office, then I'm sorry. It is what it is. But to the rest of the folks, it was horrible, but it's time to move on. It is time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts of the day. Folks, this has to stop. This attacking of ICE and law enforcement officers, demonizing them has been going on too long. We have got to find a way to stop this. So no matter what city or state you're listening to us right now, so for example, if you're in Nashville, folks, we want to hear from you in Tennessee. So if not today, then during this week, just like in the other states, we hear from everybody else. 800-848-9222. Shout out to Nashville, Tennessee. It has to stop. And you know what's leading to this? These hateful members of Congress that are not qualified to even serve as janitors, and that's an insult to janitors, okay? I'm talking about the AOCs of the world. I'm talking about Congresswoman Haight, Jasmine Crockett.
It is so hard to sit here sometimes because I didn't come to Congress to write laws or to do things that are hurting people. I'm just asking if there's any decency or heart or courage on that side of the aisle.
Oh, boo-hoo.
The fact that a woman was killed, she was shot in her head, and y'all are pretending like nothing happened. I remember when Charlie Kirk got killed. Do you remember what our response was? Our response wasn't to sit there and pretend like it was okay. Is it okay because you have a badge? Because the last time I checked, allegedly no one is above the law. Can y'all not just have a little bit of courage and humanity?
Boo-hoo.
I am asking if there is anyone that will stand for the very people that elected us and sent us to Congress.
Boo-hoo. I'm not going to the Senate, and I'm tearful because I want to represent Texas in the Senate, and I can't con the people of Texas. Let's go to Nori, line 3 in the Bronx. Nori, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. I just want to point out that, God's moral principles were always present. You know, people are running around, and they're running around disorderly, number one. Number two, God created laws, and we must listen to authority. Okay, that young lady should have used wisdom. And you know, we're fighting as a Christian. I believe that we're not fighting against flesh and blood. We're fighting against principalities of the air. And she should have had a little bit more wisdom, and she shouldn't have put herself in that situation. Unfortunately, this is what happened. But I feel like this should be a wake-up call for all of those that are rioting. I mean, they're not even out there doing it in an orderly fashion, okay? So this should really be a wake-up call for everybody else that's still out there.
You're correct. You're correct, Nori. But the problem is the George Floyds of the world made it possible for them to engage in this criminality. It's as simple as that. Thank you for the wonderful call. Joseph, line 2, Fairfield, Connecticut. Joseph, what's on your mind?
Hello, Dominic. In the past, illegal immigrants have been sent back under Obama and Biden, and we had to pay for the transportation back. I'm a legal citizen. We had to wait 8 years. I might have told you this before. In the 50s, my father was a cabinet maker. My mother's dressmaker in the Bronx. So I have a kind of an analysis of this incident too.
Okay, Joseph, you got to get to the point. What are you trying to tell me?
Following the law, it's federal law to send these illegals back. And the point is that the agent that was in front of the car, he had an incident where he was on the side of the car 6 months before and he got injured.
We've talked about that, Joseph. Thank you for the call. It's just that I have to move on. We're short on time. Anthony, line 3, New Jersey. What's on your mind, Anthony?
I'm going to keep it quick. Jasmine Crockett, she's full of crap because when Charlie Kirk got shot, they were praising his death.
You're correct. You're correct. You're correct.
Praising his death, Dominic. That's all they did. That's all I saw on social media. So you know what? Too bad, an eye for an eye. It should never be an eye for an eye. But she has nobody to blame but her and her wife. Thank you, Anthony. Connie, line 1, New Jersey. Connie, you got 15 seconds.
Hi, Dominic. I just want to make a comment about
Connie, you got 10 seconds now.
The woman that ran that cop over, her friend in the back or her wife in the back was saying, "Drive, baby, drive," and
Right.
that's exactly what she did.
Right, and unfortunately she paid with her life, and there's nobody to blame but her wife and herself. Help America to never forget. Donate $11 a month and amplify your impact by donating your car or land. Go to T2T.org.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.